Okay, so today we're going to learn a little bit about another strategy called Turtlehead Math. Turtlehead Math can be used to help you to multiply multiple numbers that are on top and on the bottom. It doesn't normally work with single-digit multiplication, but when you have a number on top, a couple numbers on top, and at least two or more on the bottom, this can help you keep organized with your multiplying. So it looks a lot like this when you're finally finished, if you use colors like I did. If you don't, it's just a matter of just making your turtlehead and scratching things out and finishing the product at the very end. I did forget to do a plus sign on the bottom, so my apologies. I'll add that in there right now. Okay. So there are some steps. We'll go over the steps, and then you'll be able to go back and look through this to help you multiply some multi-digit numbers at the same time. So our first step is to draw the turtle's head around your top two numbers and your bottom right number. And I'll show you how this all works out as we get through to the next part, and I'm going to actually do the sample for you. The second part is to multiply by the number in its neck, and that would be the 5 times 7, then the 5 times 2. The third step has multiple steps in there, and that is first you're going to check off the carried number. Then you're going to draw a collar around the number that you just multiplied by, and then you're going to draw lay an egg. That laying an egg is just a placeholder so you don't put your numbers in the wrong place, and then when you're finally adding at the end, you're able to get the correct answer. So the two other steps are multiply by the other number, 6 by 7 times 7, then 6 times 2, and then finally we're going to add the total, and you should be able to come up with your correct answer. So the example that I have, the first setup was 27 times 65, and there's your problem. So the first step was to draw the turtle head. So I draw my turtle head around my top numbers, all of them, and I include the one number as the neck. You can be a little creative. Go ahead and make your little mouth and an eyeball if you want to. Okay, so I multiply on the second step is to multiply by the bottom number in the neck. So here's my number in the neck, okay, the number 5. So I multiply my 5 to the 7, which comes to 35. So I do my normal carrying over. So I have my 5, I carry my 3 on top, and then I multiply 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. Okay, so 135 is my first part. Now on the step 3, I'm going to go ahead and do the first part, which is to cross out or check off the carried numbers. So my 3 on top gets checked off. I'm going to put a collar around my bottom number that I just multiplied by. And I'm going to drop my egg underneath the first number. However you want to do it, as long as you put that placeholder there, okay? You want to make your answer line, don't forget your plus sign, and you're ready to go to the next part. Okay, step 4, up here. Step 4 says to multiply by the other number. The other number is my 6. Here's my 6 right here. That's my other number, okay? So I'm going to multiply 6 times 7, which comes to 42. So I put my 2 down here, and I carry my 4, put it on top. Then I have 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. So I make sure I put my 16 on the bottom, because I'm not going to carry anything else over. And you want to make sure that your lines are all lined up. Okay, I've got my lines lined up like this right here, so I know I'm adding the correct numbers. My 1 should be up in that line. Sorry about that. Don't get confused. Okay, so now I just add. That's the last part, is just to add. So while I'm adding, I'm going to 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 plus 6 is 7. And I bring down the 1. No other number to add with that. So that should be your total number. Okay, so let's try another number. I'm going to move the screen over. We'll go ahead and do 31 times 15. And again, I have multiple numbers. I can go ahead and put my turtle head around the numbers, my first step again. This is just to remind me that I'm going to multiply by this number first only, okay? So now you want to be creative. Go ahead and put your mouth and your eyes if you want. Be really crazy. All right, so we have 5 times 1 is 5. And then 5 times 3 is 15. And notice this time I didn't have to carry anything on the top, so I don't need to put a number up there. So just 5 times 3 is 15, so I put my 15 down. Now the next steps again. I make sure that I cross off my number on top. I don't have one, so I don't need to worry about it. But my next step is to put my collar on. So here I'm going to put my collar over that 5 again because I don't want to multiply by that same number. Okay, at least not in that spot. Then I drop down my 0 or my egg, making sure that that's going to be my placeholder. Put my answer line and my plus sign. Okay, now I'm ready to multiply by the other number, the step 4. So multiply by the other number. 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 times 3 equals 3. This was kind of an easy multiplication problem. So now the final step again is to add. If I add 5 plus 0, I'm going to have 5. 5 times plus 1 is 6. And 1 plus 3 is 4. So you should have 465 if I added all that correctly. Okay? All right, so here we're going to do one more. And I'm going to let you do it, and let's just see if you got it right. I'll give you a few minutes to do it, and then I'll come in and start it, and you can see if you've got that correct. Here's your problem. Your problem is going to be 42 times 23. Okay, so go ahead and start that. Remember your steps. Go back if you need to and check out the steps really quick. I'll give you a minute or two. Sorry, didn't mean to distract you with my dancing. I'm going to come right back in just a second. Oh, solo mio, oh me, oh my, oh. All right, let's see if you got some of this done. I'm going to come back in. We'll start off slow. Hopefully the first thing you did was follow all the directions. So the first thing you should have done was the turtle head. Okay? All right, now I'm going to go ahead and multiply by that very first number that's in the neck. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, again, I didn't have to carry any number on top. So now my next part is I'm going to, I don't have to worry about checking off, so I'm going to put my collar in again. Now that my collar's down, I'm going to drop my egg. And my answer line. There's my plus sign. I want to make sure I use plus, not multiply again. So plus it. Now I'm going to multiply by the other number. My other number is 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. So now I can add as the final step. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. And 1 plus 8 is 9. Were you able to get that? Okay, if you got this, great job. Check that off. If you got any part of this correct on your own, then check that part off, okay? We're going to show you one more time of a different number. It's a little bit bigger, but the concept of Turtlehead Math works the same way. The whole point of Turtlehead Math is to make sure that you multiply by the bottom number at the far right first, and then just make another level to the next, multiply to the next number as you get done with that first set on top. I'll show you what I mean. That was probably really confusing. Sorry. Here we go. This number is going to have 324 times 112. Okay? The concept works the same. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. My ninja skills didn't work getting that all done. Let me go up here instead. 324 times 112. All right? There we go. This is the same concept. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my turtle head across all the numbers on top, all of them. It's going to be a little bit longer turtle head, but that's okay. The whole point is remember that I'm going to use only the two first. Okay? My mouth, my eyeballs. All right. Now I go ahead and do my multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 3 is 6. So there's my first part. Okay? Now I don't have anything to check off on top, but I'm going to put my collar down really quick. Okay, and then I go ahead and put my egg down. One great way to remember about this too is when I'm multiplying by a number, my first number on this multiplication, this 1 is going to start, my first number on that 1 is going to start in this same spot right here. Okay, so we're going to have that start in that same spot. So now I'm going to multiply by my next set of numbers. I have 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 is 3. Notice I'm still making my straight lines. Okay, I have all my straight lines. My numbers are still going. And I accidentally gave you a number line a little bit too soon. I'm going to erase this number line here because I need to multiply. And I forgot to put those numbers. I think I erased too much. So let me put these numbers back up here. Sorry about that. 4, 2, and 3. Okay. So now I need to multiply by this new number at the far end because I just got done with this number. So I can cross that number off to remember that I'm not doing that number again, but I have to do this next number on the left. But how do I make sure I'm in the right spot? So when I made one collar right here, I put down 1 0. Now I've got a second collar, so I got to do 2 zeros, 2 placeholders. Okay, and notice that this number now is going to be, this 1 is going to go in this new spot right there. Okay, so that new spot. So we're going to go ahead and work on that. This new number now gets multiplied, and again, it's 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, again, notice that my lines are nice and straight so that I can add the numbers that are just in that one line. All right, and here's my plus sign. Let me get rid of this other stuff really quick so I don't get myself confused. Put my plus sign back up. Okay, now I'm just going to do the final step. It's just adding. So we add the 8 plus the 2 zeros is going to be an 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So I put my 2 here and I carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 2 is 6. And then I bring my 3 down. And that is my total answer. I put my comma in the right spot, and there we go. So that's how you would use Turtlehead Math with digits that you're multiplying that have multiple digits in them. Typically, if you're multiplying by just one digit on the bottom, it doesn't work as well. But if you're working with 2 or more digits that you're multiplying by, then I would recommend using a Turtlehead Math. So hopefully that helps you out any, and thank you for listening.